1. Welcome to Made for More Living.
One small step for man.
With Johnny Jennings.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
The fastest and most exciting hour of news, events, and real estate in Northern California.
And this is a fact that was proved.
Powered by EXP Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Get ready. Here we go.
So have you heard this guy in the news, Matt? His name's Sean. I think it's Sean Diddy Combs. Have you heard about that guy?
You mean Sean Diddy Combs? Sean. Yeah. You've never heard that spelling of Sean before?
I just think it's ridiculous. S-H-A-W-N. Spell it right. Spell it right. Sean Connery can get away with it, R.I.P., but everybody else, come on, what are you doing?
Sean, yeah, so tell us about Sean.
So Sean has gotten a little bit of trouble. If you've been following the news, been doing some pretty gnarly stuff, or alleged gnarly stuff, and he listed his house for over $61 million in Beverly Hills back in
90210 area.
Yes, exactly. In September. So he listed it a few months ago. Guess what it's selling for?
So wait, how much was it selling for in September?
It was listed for a little over $61 million.
$61 million. Mm-hmm. And obviously he needs to get rid of it because he's going to be relocating to a little bit more confined area.
Yeah, he won't need, I mean, how many, it was huge. It was, oh man, this article's in meters, but 1,580 square meters. So that's what, almost like 12,000 feet?
Square feet? That doesn't seem like a whole lot.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
For $62 million, I guess, in Beverly Hills, yeah. So anyways, that was 2 months ago.
2 months ago. And
when things were going good for Sean, right?
When they were going good,
for him.
Sean P. Diddy. And, but
17,000 square feet.
How much?
17,000.
Oh, I was off by.
Yeah, I thought that was a little off. So 17,000 square feet.
That's why I do real estate. If it was 3%, I could have helped you out.
but anyways, he's obviously had to do a price reduction.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But who's going to buy the house?
I would.
Like JJ, would you? By the way, JJ's on the show. JJ Mack, lender extraordinaire with Made for More Lending. Just kidding.
He's our scene expert.
Might as well be.
Yeah. Entertainment reporter.
Yeah.
Scene, yeah. I'm with you, Johnny. S-E-A-N.
But but who would want to buy that house? Like,
why
talk about
you want to buy? I mean, okay, so let's just be clear here. He's been accused of messing around with kids inappropriately. Right?
Yeah, and
correct.
Accusation,
right?
yes.
Accusations.
He's been accused of that.
Kids, women,
possibly in that home.
Like, what was that comedian's name? JJ?
Bill Cosby. Yeah,
Bill Cosby.
Kind of
next level. Bill Cosby.
Wow. Okay. So, anyways, he's been accused of doing this possibly in that home.
In the home
that they're selling.
In the home that's being sold.
So you have someone coming along and saying
they want to buy it.
They want to buy it.
They want to buy it, but it's actually a crowd-based, like a California-based real estate crowdfunding firm called Bellwood Estates.
Oh, so it's not even like a real estate agent.
It's not even an individual, which makes sense to me.
Okay, so how much have they lowered it to?
They put an offer in for $30 million.
Wow.
So less than half of the list price.
That's what he hasn't accepted that offer, but that's the offer they put in.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
How would you list a home like that? Would you be able? How would you do that? Is that you have to disclose all that information, obviously?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, without a doubt. You'd have to disclose what?
Disclose what?
Like, how would you, yeah.
If there was a crime committed in the house?
So when it comes to disclosures, you just want to make sure that you are communicating to any prospective buyer any relevant information that they may want to know. Like over-disclose.
But he hasn't been found guilty of any crime yet in that home.
But what if you buy the house and he is, and you didn't even know this was going on?
I don't know. I bet you this firm kind of understands what's going on.
I agree.
And they've been aggressive in what they're offering, and I applaud that. That's what I would do. Absolutely. If I saw an opportunity to get a good deal because of whatever circumstance, I don't care what happened in the house. I mean, I'll clean it and it'll be my home.
I'll clean it.
Right?
Really good.
I get for
clear out the baby oil, the pallets of baby oil.
For a lot of people, that might be an issue for them. If somebody died in the home, if a murder happened in the home, I get it. If
there are people who don't like the orientation of specific homes or where the toilets are.
Exactly.
Or there's people, or if you're close to a cemetery or a railroad track, and this felonies were potentially committed in this property. So
I don't think he's going to take the offer. I don't think he'll take it.
You don't
that
think?
seems like 30 half price. Have you ever seen anything like that? Have you ever seen a home do a 50% price reduction and it gets sold for that price?
Funny you should ask.
Really?
Yeah, actually,
You have?
Yeah. Well, here's another example. So this guy, so since we're just doing some news highlights, this guy's a billionaire, right? So the guy knows how to make a couple bucks. His name's Ken Griffith. He wants to get out of Chicago quick, so he sells his penthouse that he bought in 2017 at a 44% loss.
Jeez.
So, and he's not in a lawsuit. He just wanting to leave Chicago.
There you go. Yeah, but he's a billionaire. Yeah, that's crazy.
Supposedly Diddy was at one point. I
Yeah.
think Diddy was close.
That's
was he
true.
really?
Yeah, he was close.
Anyways, I don't know. I'd take the deal. As long as there wasn't any like witchcraft, seance, weird stuff happening in the house, then I'd be okay.
So
Like
that's
demonic spirit.
But there are some people who wouldn't care about that.
I know.
So I'm just saying
so
disclose.
everybody has their thing.
Just
everybody
disclose.
has their thing.
Yeah, disclose and let the buyer decide.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is be getting sued by. Can you imagine getting sued by somebody who's buying a $30 million house or a $60 million house?
Yeah, you're losing that one.
Yeah,
They got
I
big
wouldn't want to
lawyers.
deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the name of the company?
That's purchasing Scene's house.
Yeah.
It is Bellwood Investments.
So what do you think they want to do with the home?
I have zero idea.
Well, if they're getting a good deal on it, they might just flip it, right?
Yeah.
They could probably just,
I figure that's what
Do
they're
some
going to do.
charity events.
Yeah, they'll find a buyer for it for sure. And maybe it might take a while after this has been out of the headlines.
Yep.
And they don't. I mean, I guess you're right. They would have to disclose that this was owned by Scene Pity Combs, right? And they're like, who's Scene? I don't know.
Hey, that's how I pronounce
Right.
it. Yeah. I disclosed.
Do you think you would have to disclose that certain things happened in the home like that?
Either allegedly at this point or if he's
Really?
convicted, absolutely.
Maybe you'd have to say there's allegedly things going on.
At this point, I would say alleged. At this
I
point, I
didn't
would
know
say
that.
alleged. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah.
Okay, well then there you go. See,
So-
but I think there's plenty of buyers, especially maybe there's a buyer from another country, an international buyer who's never even heard of Sin Pity Combs, and they're
So not to get too controversial, but like, for example, Iraq, I don't know if you heard about this. They're talking about dropping the legal age of consent from 18 to 9.
oh my gosh.
Isn't that
What?
crazy? Yeah.
So how did we go
Horrible.
into that topic?
So my point is, if they're good with 9-year-old brides,
Right,
maybe
sure.
they'll buy Diddy's house.
Great, good point. Good point.
You know,
That's
they don't give a
true.
rip.
Yeah,
They don't care.
and that's
So-
what I think will happen. They'll find a buyer who doesn't care and get a great deal on it. I mean,
Well, that's-
I just can't see
yeah.
him selling it for 50% off. That just seems ludicrous.
Well, here's the thing.
to speak of another rapper.
You speak, oh gosh, dad joke. But you bring up a good point. So many people, whether you're selling a $60 million home or whether you're selling a $400,000 house, so many people get hung up on that listing price. It's a listing price. It's a marketing price. It's not the value of the home. You can choose the marketing price, but the value of the home, the actual what it's going to sell for, is up to the buyer.
Sure.
It's not up to the seller.
Absolutely.
So there's you guys know the Golden State Killer? Mm-hmm. So I did the
Not personally, but
well, yeah, yeah. So there was he sold his house obviously he's
yeah.
did bad things, went away.
Absolutely.
And so because of that, the daughter had to sell the house, and I did the loan on that house when they sold.
Wow.
Person buying the house.
Person buying the house. And so he had to be disclosed. All that stuff was in the disclosures.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that particular home was not selling because of what had happened.
Sure.
He obviously had this basement. It was weird.
See, that one would freak me out a little bit. I don't know that I would buy that.
Because there might
house.
still be things on the property that you didn't even know about.
It's just evil. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a house like that. No way.
But the guy that came into it got an amazing deal.
Sure.
Because of that reason.
Right.
Do you remember the numbers at all? Like what it was listed at, what it sold for?
I do, but I can't say. I'm not supposed to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But was it more
Okay.
than a 50% discount?
It was almost.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like 60%.
Again, there
Really?
are people that are interested in stuff like that, or they don't
not
care.
deterred. They're not
they
deterred.
They don't
Yeah.
care. That's one of the homes I would not buy. But
Yeah.
I felt the same. It's like, I don't even want to do the loan on this house. It was weird.
you're like, okay, I'll do it for the money.
Who was, not necessarily like disclosing who the buyer was, but was it an investor or was it somebody who wanted to live there personally?
It was actually a first-time home buyer.
There you go.
He needed help, and he was able to find a home for a lot cheaper than usual, and got a great home in a great area. Obviously not so great because of what happened there, but because of the bones around it.
I wonder how the neighbors are. Like, are the neighbors like cool, or are they like
Trying to get out of there?
Yeah. It's like the neighborhood definitely improved with him moving in. You can't get any worse than the Golden State Killer.
Absolutely.
You know? Can you imagine block parties? Like on that street before you knew he was a Golden State Killer? Like, I would be second guessing everything. Like, what was he? Yeah. Anyways, moving off. Let's talk about something positive.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So aside from getting 50% off on homes, JJ, you're a lender. How long you been doing this? Like 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, just 2, 3, 16, something like
2,
that.
3, 16. Yeah, man.
Why did you decide to get into this type of career?
Oh, man.
Did you go to college?
I went to college for 4 years. At the end of that 4th year, got out.
Did you graduate?
No. So I was going to go back my 5th year for one more quarter and graduate. But at the end of that 4th year, I got a job at a mortgage company and just loved it and thought, I'm good at this. Why would I need to go back to college?
What did you love about it?
I loved talking to people. I loved the fact that I felt like an expert in something, and I had never felt like that way before.
Oh, that's cool. Love that.
And so now, fast forward 16 years later, you've been ranked like the #1 guy in plaster for a long time.
Not counting builder.
Not counting builder. Yeah. Builder accounts. So explain quickly the difference between that and builders, so people don't.
Yeah. So like, as a builder lender, you're obviously sitting at a builder, a subdivision, and people are walking in, and you're getting those deals. Like in a car dealership, I'm working at Ford, people are coming in to buy a Ford car. You get the deals when they're coming in.
So that person working in finance at Ford dealership. That's funny you said Ford. You don't drive a Ford.
I don't drive a Ford.
So the people at the GMC dealership, the Chevy dealership, they're going to do more auto loans because you're sitting there than maybe a credit union, that your rep at the credit union, who you have to call up and say, hey, what am I qualified for?
Yeah, you got to go out and get the business.
Yeah.
And have relationships.
Yeah. But for regular loan officers who are out there working with buyers and sellers, not doing builder accounts, you're one of the best in the area, one of the best in the country. In fact, like, your numbers are crazy. Like, anyways, I could sing your praises all day long, but what I want to know is, do you have any insight on why interest rates are so volatile? Like, the Fed dropped the fund rate in September, they dropped it again in November, and interest rates are still high. Like, what are you seeing in the wonderful world of interest rates?
Yeah, I mean, it's also this big old inflation thing. We've talked about this before, but and it's being even more volatile because we had this presidential election, and we were going one way. And now, as a Democratic Party, they're a little bit lighter on inflation. They're not trying to get it there so quick, where Republican Party is really tough on inflation, and they want to get things moving fast and quick and fast and furious. And so I think that's going to change a lot, where we're going to see interest rates maybe stay higher for a little bit longer because of the fact they're going to fight inflation harder. So
when you say a little bit longer, are we talking like another year? Like, what? Do you have any insight on that? I hope not. I don't think so. I think we're going to see it, definitely into the new year. And then, hopefully within this first quarter, we can really get things under wraps. The way that our new president, Trump, is talking, he feels very strongly that he's going to be able to come in, get this thing under control, and then help the American people with lower prices. Yep. Okay. And so another thing I've heard about interest rates is people are just nervous, like investors and stuff are nervous about the deficit. Took 200 and something years to get to 12 trillion, and then we blew through that in like 12 years. It's pretty insane. And so maybe, if we are able to get a handle on the deficit, get a handle on the budget, if Elon and what's the other guy's name? The V. Vivek, I think, something like that. We'll go with that. Yeah. If they're able to, cut a couple $1 trillion out of the budget of stuff that people aren't benefiting from, right? Maybe that will ease global tensions about, hey, is this currency still sound, or are they going to have issues? Going to go to Bitcoin? Yeah, go to Bitcoin, go crypto. Yeah. But so that's what I've been hearing. It's the election that's behind us, so we'll see how that plays out. I've been hearing about the deficit, and then obviously inflation and unemployment. How are unemployment numbers looking? Yeah, it's hard to tell. It seems like every single unemployment number we get ends up getting revamped the next month. Oh, really? So it's noticeably, because I remember that one. It was pretty bad, but several percent every single month, and so it's hard to tell exactly where unemployment is. It does look that things did get a little worse, but this last month in October, and then than what they were supposed to be.
But then hopefully this next month, we're seeing things get better. The reason why is because kids were going back to school. And so when you have these kids going back to college, these working age people, they were working, and then all of a sudden they're not working anymore.
I can't imagine going to college and not working. Did you work in college?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Had to.
Me too.
Yeah, I did. My wife did. But I don't have any college debt either.
What'd you do in college?
What did I worked. I
Like
worked.
radio or?
Yeah, you know what I was doing? I was working at this radio station. I've been here almost 25 years.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, crazy. But I also worked, where else did I work? I worked at a car wash. I worked at Round Table. I worked at Wiener Schnitzel's. I worked at a care home. You got to hustle.
Care home. That is hard. I would not
Yeah.
want to work in a care home.
Oh, man, like helping bathe adults, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not my thing.
No, of course not.
But I graduated college debt free as well, and then
Yep. Same.
instantly racked up a bunch of credit card debt when I
There
took a
you
real
go.
estate course. So that's a story. That's a story for
You
a
should have
different
took
day.
the Dave Ramsey course first,
Yeah.
then the real estate
I
course.
didn't even know he existed. I took the Dave Ramsey course
There you
after
go.
I had some problems. Hey, but when we come back, we were going to be talking about the increased number of down payment assistant programs. So if you're looking to buy a house and you're wondering, hey, are there options out there? Are there still programs out there? Yes, and they have increased significantly year over year.
Okay, Matt, it is no secret this time of year can get a little bit stressful because there's so much that you need to do. You're spending money left and right for friends, family, everyone coming over. And if you're trying to sell your home at this time, you just want it done easy. And that's what Sabrina wanted. So she called Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team, and she was able to get a cash offer for her home, a dream offer. She accepted it and was even able to stay in her home after closing so she could have a smooth transition to her next home, which Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty helped her buy.
And that can happen for you. No need to do all those costly home repairs, getting your home staged and clean and organized, doing open houses. At least 3 cash offer guys for your home in as-is condition. It's happening to a lot of people. Why not you? Because you expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 1982-171.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So when we help somebody buy or sell a house, oftentimes we like to give them a gift, as a closing gift. Hey, thank you so much for working with us. JJ, you have some phenomenal gifts that you give out.
I think I got a cake.
You got a
That
cake?
he picked up from Safeway.
When you bought your
When I
house, you got
bought
a
my
cake?
house, he bought me a cake.
A whole cake.
Interesting. Was it like?
Yeah, a whole cake. What do you mean?
Was it like-
He's gonna
was
give me a slice of cake?
I don't know.
No,
Was it branded? Like, was it the house?
No, I think he just stopped by Safeway, picked up one of those.
I have never heard of a
$15
cake.
cakes. What?
I've never heard of giving a cake as a closing gift.
Really? That seems like that would be common to me because it's a celebration. He gave me the keys, and he gave me a cake that I think he bought at Safeway.
Well,
What's
at
wrong
least-
with that?
Wasn't
I
brand.
like
It doesn't
cake.
have the name of the
It
company.
did
or
not
anything?
have the name or anything. I think it was just a plain
He
chocolate
just grabbed
cake.
it off the
He
counter.
grabbed it last minute. He's like, I should probably give something to Matt because of his business. I wasn't the easiest to work with. And
Really?
Yeah.
I can't see that.
No, I was tough. I did not want to buy a house. I didn't want to buy a house. And so.
Were you married at this time?
No, I was not married.
Okay.
And I didn't want to buy a house.
So he had to deal with you exclusively.
Yeah, we had some issues with different financiers who just didn't do what they said they were going to
Should have
do.
gone with JJ Mack.
I know. Well, I didn't know about him before, but chocolate cake. I like chocolate cake.
Okay.
What do you guys give out?
Yeah, JJ had some great stuff.
I mean, we changed it up because of the seasons. And so this last summer season, we did a nice picnic blanket with a Bluetooth speaker, all branded
Oh,
with our
that's
information
cool.
on it.
Ooh,
That's
a Bluetooth
awesome.
speakers. Those are hot right now.
Yeah, we went
But-
golf. Is that where who was I golfing with? Kevin? Is that where Kevin got his Bluetooth speaker? Was that from you?
Unfortunately not. No,
No?
I got to hook him up.
There you go.
Yeah.
I still have a Bluetooth speaker that I got from one of our bands for King and Country, and it's
Really?
a nice one. It was like a $200 nice Bluetooth with it's branded. I
wow.
use that all the time. It's in the kids' room. We use it when we get
And it's
out the
branded
projector.
for the band.
For the band, yeah.
Okay.
It's really nice. It's a really good one. It sounds great. That's a good idea.
Valerie likes giving out succulents.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
again, out of everything,
As long
you've
as they're coming
listed,
from our garden, that's fine. Get rid of those dang things. You got too many succulents.
out of all those things, I'll go with the chocolate cake. I'm sorry, I can eat it now. I won't get.
You don't want a
enjoy
blanket?
It.
I love
don't want a
blankets.
blanket.
But you'll eat it and then it's gone, and you won't remember anything anymore.
Well, that's
Doesn't have, like, the
fine
name
by
or-
me.
Yeah.
You're the one that wants to be remembered. I want my chocolate
Hey,
cake.
the cake is still working.
Now,
the
if
cake
I-
is still working because
That's
we're
right.
talking about it
True
right
enough.
now.
Exactly.
True enough.
I say just add what an extra $10. Go get a cake and give them the blanket too. But if I was married at the time when I was purchasing my house, obviously we would appreciate more the cutting board and the blanket and all that.
Charcuterie, yeah.
But I'm a dude. I want some sugar. I want some chocolate.
We used to do chocolate covered almonds.
Almonds? You mean?
No.
What the
when
heck
you
is-
when you shake you know how they harvest almonds.
Almonds? Who calls them almonds?
So how they
Oh my
harvest them is they
gosh.
shake the tree. They shake the tree really hard, and all of the nuts fall off. And so when you shake the tree, you shake the L out of them. So they're almonds.
Is that a joke?
Come on, man.
Was
You
I
gotta
supposed
laugh
to
at
laugh?
that
Come on,
one.
yeah.
Come on.
The L out of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I get what you're saying. So instead of almonds, it's almonds because
Yep.
they took the L out of them.
You shook the L out.
Okay, that's an interesting joke.
If you're from Central California, it's all almonds.
Why? Who says
Yeah.
that? I thought it was more of East Coast people, like from the Midwest, the South.
I'm gonna diverge from JJ on this slightly.
You call them almonds.
The people who grow them call them almonds.
There you go.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I call them.
You know that
almonds.
for a fact.
Yeah.
You know growers, and they
Yep.
call them almonds.
Yep. It's kind of I'm with you, Matt. It's kind of annoying, but you know what? It's a term of endearment.
Almonds.
Yeah.
But there's an L in there. Where did that come
Because
from?
they shook the L out. I asked the same question. That's the joke I
That's
was
the
told by a grower.
hillbilly joke that they like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No offense to all you almond growers out there. You're not hillbillies, but it just I don't know. Makes no sense.
Who cares? Who cares the term? Chocolate. Would you like chocolate covered almonds?
Oh, absolutely.
There you go.
Yes. Oh my god.
JJ's got a little farm.
You have an almond or almond
Yeah.
farm?
So that's why I would do it, because I'd have all these almonds built up, and and so it's like, hey. So I'd ask my wife Megan. I'd say, hey, can you make some almond and with the chocolate on it? People love.
She
chocolate.
would make
Oh,
them
absolutely.
for you.
Yeah.
That's super.
Are they
cool.
salted as well?
We would do different ones. Like at Christmas
little,
time, we
like,
do peppermint.
So are these in cans or like
I'll
little?
get you some.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How
get
could
you
you
some
not
too, yeah.
come here and bring some?
I know. I'm a bad.
This show
guest.
would have been much better if we were snacking on some chocolate almonds.
Well, there you go.
That's
so it's
awesome.
like seeing Sean almonds. You know, everybody's got their thing.
It's the almond guy.
But that's
why
a
I'm
good
just
way to
call
go.
you the almond guy.
something to eat, as well as maybe a blanket or something else with it.
Yeah, for the gift. I want to start giving out for people who come on the radio show gold-handled mugs.
And tell us the story of where you got that from.
So the idea is, I'm a huge John Wayne fan. Like, if you don't like John Wayne, we're probably
What's your
not,
favorite John
we're
Wayne
probably
movie?
not going to be friends. Like, just saying. When Valerie and I started dating, I was like, hey Val, you want to watch this movie with me? She's like, that's old. What? Who is that? I was like, you don't know who that is? She's like, no. I'm like, that's John Wayne. Fast forward
The Duke.
14 years now we've been together, almost 15, and she can recognize his voice, from across the room. But yeah, huge,
There you
burning.
go.
My kid, my 3-year-old, he'll say, "Hey Pop, hurry up, we're burning daylight."
There you go.
We're burning daylight.
What did they call it? Put a bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
There you go.
That's not from
like it.
McClintock?
That's from the
McClintock?
Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
The Cowboys. But yeah, McClintock's one of my favorite ones. El
wife
Dorado,
loves-
Rio Bravo. No. Yeah, Rio Bravo.
So you know what? Give them a mug. When somebody comes on the show, give them a mug with the gold handle. Put John Wayne's mug on it and your logo.
So
And then they'll wonder, what's John Wayne's? Well, I'm a big John Wayne fan. They're going to know, John
like
Wayne, Johnny Jennings, John Wayne. Come on.
I'm good with that. So the idea was John Wayne at the end of every filming would give out mugs to the cast and crew with a gold handle on it and personalized for the movie they were filming.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like, hey, so some people had rows of mugs from all these different John Wayne films that they worked on.
That's cool.
So I just thought it'd be a fun gift for people who are on the radio show.
Whatever you enjoy.
Maybe
go
even
for
my
it.
face, not John Wayne's face.
No, I think you should go with John
John
Wayne's.
Wayne's
I think you
face?
should too, man.
Okay.
See, I'm not a coffee drinker. I never use mugs.
But what about tea?
No, I don't drink tea
What about
either.
water?
I don't drink it out of a mug. Drink it
Okay.
out of this big, ginormous thermos, 64-pound thing.
But you're
Silver
different.
bullet. Yeah, I get it. If you're a coffee drinker, but if
You
if,
never drank coffee ever?
No, it's terrible. I don't like the taste of it.
Wow.
And do you realize what caffeine would do to me? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
so
that's
anyways,
that's a
I would
scary
enjoy.
thought.
I would enjoy a John Wayne mug though.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I'll toss it around.
Call it Johnny Wayne or something like that for Johnny Jennings. Johnny Wayne
Johnny the
Jennings.
Duke Jennings.
Johnny Wayne Jennings. Oh my gosh, your dad. What's your middle name?
Petrie.
Did not want to answer that question.
No, I was like, this is gonna go down.
How am I
the
just
hall.
learning about this?
This is gonna go
Your
down the whole thing.
middle name is Petrie?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, so super cool story. So I've actually gotten some heat because I named my oldest. We have 2 boys. He's 3 years, and another one's 8 months old at the time of this recording. And I named him after, I would argue, after my dad. So he's the 4th.
Sure.
Okay. And people were giving me a hard time, like, why would you name your dad after yourself or after somebody else? Why don't you give him his own name? And here's why. So my grandfather is John Petrie Jennings. He's the OG.
Okay.
He's OG, still alive. But the reason why his father, my great grandfather, named him John Petrie Jennings was because the guy named Petrie, he actually worked here in Sacramento back in the day. I think it was in Sacramento, and he was going through the Great Depression. My great grandfather was, and he needed a job. And this guy named Petrie had a local grocery store, and he gave my grandfather a job when he needed it most. And so as a way to say thank you, the next son that he had, he named him John Petrie Jennings.
Oh, man, I love that story. That's
Right?
great.
And
That's
here we
fantastic.
Here we are almost 100 years later, and that act of kindness is still creating ripples and still being told.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So not only
That is precious. I love that.
not only am I a big fan of my dad, but I think he was a wonderful father, but I also like the name Petrie.
That's a great story.
Yeah, that's
See,
an awesome story.
sorry for making fun of that.
No, everybody
That's
does. Everybody does.
awesome.
I didn't know
That-
that either. Wow.
Really?
No.
That's a great story. I love that. So is Jack's middle name Petrie?
Yeah, he's Jack Petrie Jennings IV.
Wow.
Or
So
John
he doesn't-
John
Jack,
Petrie
yeah,
Jennings
yeah.
IV. Yeah.
How old is Jack?
He just turned 3.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't quite understand the story.
He doesn't
yet.
even know his name's John, honestly.
It's all Jack.
I'm like, hey Jack, or hey John, come over. He's like, that's not my name. I'm Jack Jennings.
So when he gets older and gets married and decides to have children, are you going to insist that he names one of his sons?
No,
Johnny?
I mean, I would like that. One, you have to have a boy.
Yeah.
Right. Talk to JJ over here. JJ's got 2 daughters. He couldn't name, he could name a kid John if he wanted to. But one, he has to have a girl, and then 2, I want him to want to do that. But if
Yeah.
he does, my hope is that I was the kind of father my dad was to me, and so he would want to do that.
Sure. That's cool.
So, but yeah. Anyways, back to real estate. There's a growing number of down payment assistance programs. JJ knows way more about this than I do, but it shocked me to find out that in the last 12 months, there's an additional nationwide 192 down payment assistance programs. An additional, there's thousands of them out there, but in the last year alone, it's increased by 192.
Why is that, JJ?
Well, I think if you look at who's buying homes right now, and Johnny can probably tell you better than me, but I believe that the first-time home buyers are the biggest number of people purchasing homes. So that's a lot of millennials out there doing that right now. Yeah, baby. And so with that being said, a lot of them need help. With the prices of homes that are just so high today, a lot of the tax money that we're paying is going into these funds that are being used for down payment assistance programs. And so a lot of these companies these businesses are allowing these funds to be used for down payments. And so it's really allowing more millennials and first-time home buyers to get out there and purchase homes that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise.
Now, a lot of people think first-time home buyers this has to be the first time ever you're buying a house. What qualifies you as a first-time home buyer?
So usually it's determined that if you haven't owned a home in 3 years.
Okay.
So usually, most first-time home buyer down payment assistance programs, we're going to state that. Sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 2, but usually 3.
So let's say you went through a financial hardship, you lost the house, you've been renting for a while, you want to get back into home ownership, you might qualify for a first-time home buyer program.
Heck yeah.
There you go. And there's a lot of things out there. There's like down payment assistance where the money's given to you in forms of a grant, right? Mm-hmm. There's some where you actually have to pay it back when you sell the home. Can you run us through like 2 or 3 of the more popular ones?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest one that, a lot of people were getting into like crazy lately, it's not available anymore, but who knows, it might come back, is the California Dream for All program.
Oh, yeah.
You're just giving you money, and then you were having to pay back some of that with equity later on. But now they're doing a lot of the Cal HAFA is a big one that they're having now, where you're getting a gift for that down payment money. It is a loan, but you're not having to pay it back. It's just accumulating interest. It's very low interest. It's interest only. And so when you go into refinancing or selling, you can pay it back. And then there's things like MCCs, which is like mortgage credit certificates, where you're able to then allow yourself to use a higher taxable interest at the end of the year. So basically, instead of using, let's just say you're in tax bracket and you can use, 15% of your mortgage interest as a deductible, maybe you can use it as 50% now or 40%. Huge amount of difference, and you can get a lot more money back at the close of the year.
Interesting.
So that's another way to do it.
So at the end of the day, there's a lot of different programs, a lot of options out there. And when we come back, we're actually going to talk about EEMs.
You got it.
Energy efficient mortgages.
So, Matt, there's one thing that I've heard over and over from people who are veterans that have served our country that we're celebrating today, and that is the importance of trust when you are on the front lines and you are fighting and having that brotherhood and working with people that you trust. And that's something that I think is really true about Johnny Jennings, because he is a person that you can trust to take care of you, which is what Betty experienced. She used Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty to sell her home in this really difficult situation that no one else was able to figure out. So when it came time to sell her mother's home in Roseville, obviously she called our friend Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty, and he was able to get her the perfect buyer for her home and negotiated a quick as-is sale.
And check this out. Johnny Jennings guarantees to get you at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. You don't have to do all those repairs, get your home cleaned and staged and organized. It's super simple and easy. Take advantage of it. Again, at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. Expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 1982-171.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by EXP Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So a lot of people buy real estate as investments. JJ, when you, like, a lot of people are worried. Have you heard about this too, Matt, about people, like, everybody that's buying houses are buying, like, it's the investors that are buying them. It's Wall Street that's buying them. It's not your everyday, person that's going to live in the home and purchase them.
Is that the trend now?
That's what people are hearing. That's what they're saying.
Because you see that in a lot of the commercials. It seems like, I'm going to give you cash for your home, and it's usually some type of conglomerate business that's purchasing up all these homes. Is that true?
That's what people are worried about. But recently, a report came out that stated that in Q2 of this year, Q2 of 2024, the number of people who are investors that are purchasing homes is down to 17%, down from 20% at its peak, like during the COVID area. So that equates out to roughly 1 in 6 people that are buying a home are as an investor.
So it's gone down.
Yeah, so it's gone down. So there's not as many investors buying it. So if you're out there looking to buy a home, you're not competing with those investors.
Oh, that's good for those that are looking to buy a home. Maybe it's not a good ROI anymore. Is that true?
That might be the case on some of it. I don't know, but here's a story about this.
I think that's going to fluctuate. I think it changes. I bet you next year the numbers change.
So there's investors out there. There is at least 1 in 6 people buying a house, right, that are using it for investment purposes. And it's not necessarily Wall Street. These are like mom and pop people. Like they own 1 rental, maybe 3 rentals. And JJ, you've done real estate investing in the past. I've done a little bit of it. Like, is there a certain, like, if you were to counsel somebody on, hey, here's a good deal, what would you describe a good deal as looking at in terms of like a single family home rental, like long-term rental strategy?
Anything, honestly. I mean,
buy the property.
Buying real estate is a good investment. I mean, obviously you want to look at the numbers and make sure that you're not, doing something it's a bad idea. You're not going to make any money off of in the future. But a lot of times when I buy investment, I'm not making money right away. I'm looking.
Is it a paper
down
loss
the road.
or is it like a real loss?
It could be both. I mean, when you buy a property, a lot of times, you're fixing it up and getting it, putting it to a point where you're going to be able to charge more for rents. Mm-hmm. But right away, it's definitely both. You're losing money from that renter. But then you go in there, you do the work that you need to do to it, and you can charge more for rent. But yeah, if you can just buy a home and in ownership, your property values are going to go up, as they always have.
Yeah, long term.
So I think just being in ownership and then going with somebody like yourself that knows the numbers, that knows how you're going to find that good home.
Correct. Yep. And so here's an interesting story. Let's tell me if this is a good deal. This family bought this home for $4 million.
Big one.
Yeah, in Portland, Oregon. they spent another $20 million renovating the property. So similar to what you said, putting some work into it.
That's a lot of work.
It's a beautiful house. I'm looking at pictures online. It's on 3.3 acres, 25,000 square feet. So this thing's a monster. But anyways, they bought it for $4 million, put $20 million into it. How much do you think they are selling it for?
Well, it has to be at least $24 million because they put that much into it.
That's the goal.
I don't know. I would guess 30.
30 at least, right? Matt, you have any guesses?
For this home? Well, you already told me. Isn't it $25 million?
Hey, how'd you know?
Because you told me.
Yeah, that's true. I did tell you. But yeah.
But that house looks beautiful.
It is stunning.
They did some good work on that home.
It's beautiful, but they're in it for 24 and they're selling it for 25.
Do you think it's worth more?
I don't know. We'll see what the market says. I don't know Portland.
How long did they live in it until they sold it?
You guys have great questions, and all I know is that they bought it in 2017.
There's got to be a reason.
I don't know how long they've been working on it, though. I don't know. It might say in the article, but
maybe they were. But maybe that's true. Maybe they put a lot of work into it. They were passionate. They had the money, and maybe it wasn't an investment property. Maybe it was something. This was their dream forever home, right?
Mm-hmm,
And because it looked beautiful, it looked like something that it has a lot of personal, different designs to it. Not just a standard flip and make it look good. It looks like this was something that they really wanted. So maybe that was the forever home, and maybe something happened. Maybe one of the spouses died, or a child died, or maybe they have to move quickly. You never know.
You never know where life takes you.
But it looks like a beautiful home for sure. It looks like they really had a lot of passion in designing it and flipping it or whatever they were doing.
So they bought it in 17. They were able to move in at 2020 when they were still doing some renovations. So that answers that question about how long they've lived in it, about 4 years. But I don't see anything so far why they would sell it.
See, and also the fact that they were taking so long to renovate it.
Yeah.
They were putting years into it, especially during COVID, So it seems like this was a passion project. Something must have happened.
Well, and they were probably paying over for a lot of that stuff because back in COVID, lumber was so high, everything was so high, so they probably wouldn't have paid that much in today's prices.
Well, that's a good point. Probably their energy costs were just through the roof. That's probably why they canceled.
Like that.
They needed an energy efficient mortgage. That's what they needed.
What's that?
What's an energy? Yeah, JJ, what's an energy efficient mortgage?
Energy efficient mortgage is really becoming popular right now. If you don't know about it, you probably should. Because, I don't know, Johnny, what's your energy cost on a month-to-month basis in the summertime?
He has no idea.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
His wife pays the bills.
So I would probably guess $250, $300.
It's more than that. It's more than that. He doesn't know.
It's more than that?
Yeah.
He's like, seriously, hold on. I'm going to make a call.
Your house is
Why
hot.
is it this much?
Yeah.
I get nasty. So we recently moved from Rockland to Roseville, but we used to get nasty letters from like what I call energy shaming, where PG&E would say, "Hey, you're using too much energy for the size of your house. You need to be more energy efficient." So that's all I know. But we keep the house.
I feel like everybody gets those. I've never met one person that says, "Oh yeah, you're doing really great."
That's a great point.
Energy is always through the roof.
That's exactly right. My dad lives in Kalinga. It's PG&E territory. He lives there maybe in that house maybe 1 week out of the month. Everything else is off, and he still gets the nasty letters.
Right?
He's like, "What are you talking about? I'm there. Nothing's even on." So you're probably right. But anyways,
I mean, from your house, you're like a 1,500, 2,000 square foot house.
2,800
square foot. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, you just moved.
Yeah.
So that house, I would imagine you're probably paying at least $1,400 in the summertime.
Oh, really?
A month, yeah.
Even in Roseville?
Maybe $1,000. Roseville Electric, maybe $1,000.
Okay. Well,
but
there you go.
EEM, what that would do for you, it was allow you to go out and get any type of energy efficient type of thing. So new dual pane windows, new
Insulation.
HVAC unit, insulation.
Can you use solar?
Batteries. You could do anything that would improve your energy efficiency in your home.
What about like low flow toilets, things like that? Or is it just...
I haven't seen that one, but potentially.
Okay.
You're helping energy efficiency.
Yeah.
You could probably make a case for that.
Okay. So is this a second, or is this when you're buying the home?
You're either buying or refinancing.
Okay.
And so if you're thinking of refinancing right now, or if you're thinking of buying right now, don't not look at this.
So let's say my energy costs are high. I bought this house. It was like a live and flip. The windows are shot. It has the old insulation. It gets really drafty. Wow. how would I reach out to you? Like, what would this process look like?
Yeah, I mean, you could go with any type of financing, so conventional, FHA, or VA. And if you're looking to get those improvements done, they can add them to the cost of your mortgage. So if you're buying I'm just going to use this for an example. I know there's no $100,000 houses out there. But if you bought a $100,000 house and you wanted to put in $25,000 worth of energy efficiency, you're going to buy the house for $100,000. You're going to put your 3.5% for FHA down, which is $3,500, and then you'll add in the $25,000 of energy efficient items. So your loan amount would be a little less than $125,000, 123 something.
So do you get the cash, or do you like how does that $25,000 get dispersed? Like, do you have to have the improvements completed prior to close, or
not prior to close? It can be done after.
Okay,
but it's going to be, you're going to have the invoices. You're going to know exactly how much it's going to cost, and then you're going to take that, and the bank's going to pay out those contractors.
The vendors. So you're not getting the money. The vendor's getting the money.
Correct.
Okay. And can you pick the contractors, or do you have to use their?
Yeah, as long as they're licensed contractors and you want to use them.
Oh, so they have to be licensed contractors.
Correct.
Can't be someone off of Craigslist.
Can't be those guys out in front of Home Depot?
Probably not, unless they're licensed.
Unless they're licensed, okay.
But, I mean, it's a huge...
Is there a max on what you can...
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's a percentage of the home.
Got it.
But here's the thing is, like, for one of our clients that just did this, they bought a $600,000 home. Initially, they got this is what made them purchase the house.
Okay.
They were so worried about the energy costs because the person that was there before had PG&E bills, and that was almost $2,000 a month. They're like, I can't afford this in the summertime. These energy efficient came in and allowed them to save. They're telling them that they're now going to cut their bill in half for PG&E because of the things that they did.
How much did they have to invest to cut it in half?
And they didn't even do solar. I think it was $40-something thousand, HVAC unit, insulation was a huge one, and then the dual pane windows.
Yeah, those newer HVAC units are super efficient. I forgot about those. Okay, cool. So to use your $100,000 example, the house is worth $100,000. You get $25,000 in energy efficient upgrades. So now your monthly payment is based off that $125,000.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But because you're cutting the cost on the energy, that $25,000 being dispersed over 30 years is practically nothing when you compare it to what you would have been paying for that $25,000 out of your pocket for those energy efficient things.
Absolutely. So like, so for the $40,000 example, they're saving $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 in savings their first year. They're gonna be money ahead after year 3.
More than likely, yeah. If not sooner.
If not sooner, you're right, because energy costs just increase.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. Well, that's Energy Efficient Upgrades 101 EEMs. If you want to reach out to JJ, just go to Made for More Living or just Google Made for More, and we will get you connected with him. He is our in-house lender.
So you'd like to sell your home. Maybe you want to move out of state, but you don't want to do all those costly needed home repairs. You don't want to do staging and open houses. There's an easy way to do it. Just reach out to our friend Johnny Jennings with the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. They'll get you at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. Don't believe us? They've got over 800 5-star Google reviews, #1 in Roseville for the past 3 years. So you expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and Made for More Realty.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So in 2023, a remarkable thing happened, and this emerged from the town of Woodbridge, Virginia, and it was actually the 20 millionth time this specific thing had happened, but it was like, so this has been going on since 1944, and this was the 20 millionth time this has happened, and it was the 20 millionth vet that got a home loan using the VA program. How freaking cool is that?
It's cool.
Cool.
Right? So the program was initiated in 1944. You know, decades later, you hit your 20 millionth loan program. And I take for granted, being in the industry, that this program is available for veterans. Right? This program has limited closing costs. It has no down payment. It has no mortgage insurance because it's backed by the government. But I blew my mind when I found out that 7 out of 10 vets don't even know this exists.
That's crazy.
So
why is that?
I don't know. I don't know why the military doesn't educate them on this. I don't know why.
Are the other loans comparable? Are they competitive? Is the VA loan that much of an advantage if a veteran is looking to buy a home and they're
Yes.
looking at their mortgage options? They obviously have to go for the VA loan. My dad did.
Zero money down and no mortgage insurance. Like, what's your
And a
typical,
better interest rate.
And a better interest rate. That's true. I forgot that part.
Seems like
Yeah.
a no-brainer.
And the sellers have to pay for some of your costs.
So
That's the thing.
are agents doing their clients a disservice by not informing them of these opportunities, the VA loan? Do you think what's the problem? Why aren't more veterans aware of this?
I don't know. I can see it kind of being hard. Sometimes it's harder to get any type of a government loan accepted when you're going against conventional or cash.
Oh, really? So sellers are not looking as favorably on a VA loan
Sometimes
when there's multiple offers?
Sometimes people will pick it because they want to support the vet. It just depends on the situation. But as far as why are people not doing it, I don't know. It's a no-brainer. And
JJ, is there a limit on how many of these loans are available?
There's no limit.
You can only have typically one at a time.
Oh,
though.
for the vet or for all?
No, all around.
Yeah, all around. There's not.
No,
You can do
okay.
many as you want, but yes, for the vet, you can only usually have one at a time. There's a certain amount of entitlement that you have.
What's that mean?
So basically, we're going to look and see how much money you spent on the home and how much money. There's only so much that the VA is willing to give you for the entitlement for that house. And so if you sell the house, now your entitlement goes back up. But if you own a home already, you might have a little bit left in the tank, so you can go out and buy something else, but you might have to put some more money down with it. Like for instance, if you bought $1 million house, that's above and over the amount of the entitlement they're willing to offer you, so you have to put some of your own money down.
Okay, so you can't go out and buy P. Diddy's house using a VA loan program.
You could, but you'd have to put some money down on top of it.
Okay, and that's based off the county, or what's that based off of?
Yeah, it is based. There is part of it that's based off county, and there's part of it that's based off of you as a veteran as well. What happened in were you hurt in the war or whatever?
Yeah.
And then you can decide how much entitlement you're going to have because of it.
What about the
Interesting.
spouse or the family members?
So that's actually changed recently. It used to be that the veteran had to be on the loan, but now they're saying if you were a spouse, you can then qualify for it as well.
Wow, that is interesting.
If you were a
If
spouse?
if that spouse has then passed away, you can
Okay.
still qualify for it.
Okay, so if you're divorced, you can't go, hey, my husband was a vet.
Oh, right. So it can't be a
Correct.
divorced spouse. Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. But if the vet has passed away, you qualify for that vet loan.
You do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Well, and it's a good way to put. A lot of people are like, well, I want to put money down though, because what if the property isn't worth as much and now I'm underwater on it, because I'm putting 0% down.
Yeah.
So I've bought a $500,000 house and now my loan's $500,000. So is that really a good idea for me? Well, I think in California real estate it is, and right now.
And as long as you're
especially.
financially conservative, like just put that money in an account.
Sure.
When you
don't
say
spend it.
a lower interest rate, what are we talking about?
So, for instance, interest rates right now, you're probably in the high sixes, just on a conventional loan, 20% down. If you're not paying points or anything, maybe 6.6, 6.7 at the time we're talking right now. And then if with a particular VA loan, you're sometimes looking as low as 0.5%, sometimes even 0.75% lower.
Oh, okay.
So it's potentially a big deal with 6% rate versus a 6.75% rate. It's a big savings.
And are they looking at your credit score, stuff like that?
Not as much.
Not as much.
As a conventional loan.
It's pretty freaking incredible. Like,
It
it's
is.
cool that the government does this for the vets. Like, even just not having mortgage insurance.
Except for
saves you-
Coast Guard. They don't do it for Coast Guard, right? I'm just kidding.
Coast Guard? I don't know. I have to look at
I think you're
Totally
thinking Merchant
kidding.
Marine.
Yeah.
Merchant Marine,
Marine. There you go.
What about the Salvation Army?
Yeah, there you go.
There you
Get
go.
a loan?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, typical mortgage insurance is what, a few $100?
Depending on your credit score, if you have a 640 credit score, it's going to be higher. If you have an 800 credit score, it might be lower.
So what's a range?
You're on a $600,000 house. You're looking, if you have a 740 credit score or higher, you're probably going to be looking somewhere around $100 to $150.
Okay. But if you have a low credit score,
If you have a low credit score, you're looking somewhere between $300 to $400.
oh gosh.
See, Johnny, makes you regret not enlisting when you were 18, right?
I almost joined the military,
The Air Force, the Army?
the Navy.
Oh, okay.
So I actually wanted to, because I was super anti-debt. I still am anti-debt, but I was like super anti-debt. I want to graduate college debt-free. And nobody, believe this or not, so this kind of ties into like 7 out of 10 vets not knowing the VA loan program exists. I didn't know the military academies existed. I didn't know that that was even an option where you could go in, you get this world-class education.
Sure.
For free, and then enlist, or then you're an officer for 4 or 5 years afterwards. I think it's 5 years afterwards. I didn't even know that was an option, and so I was finishing up my first year at junior college in Kalinga, and I was like, "Where am I going to transfer? What are my plans?" And I found out about the Annapolis, the Naval Academy. I applied. You have to get 2 congressional nominations in addition to all the applications and the SAT scores and all that. I did that. I wasn't accepted. I reapplied a second time, and I thought for sure I was getting in because I had the 2 congressional nominations again. My scores were better. Everything was good. I got a letter from the Naval Academy saying, "Hey, come out. We're going to tentatively accept you. We want you to come out and tour the grounds and see it." And I had just started dating Valerie. And
blame it on your wife.
No. I told her, "Gorgeous, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go. I want to do this." And 1 week before I was supposed to fly out, I bought the ticket for myself. I bought a plane ticket for my dad. We were going to go out there, and we were going to tour the campus, and I was going to join the military. And
Found out she was pregnant.
I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And they called me up and said, "Johnny, thanks for your application. You're still welcome to come out, but we're not accepting."
Oh, man, you were probably so freaking
I was
disappointed.
so disappointed.
My life is over.
And there was no
I'm
reason
going
behind
into
it?
real estate.
They told me I was too old.
What?
Which I don't
How
know
old
if I
were
believe
you?
that. 21. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was like 21 and a half. Yeah.
God,
and so I went out, did the whole thing, had a great time.
Oh,
but
so you still went out?
I still went out, and then
Hoping.
I still thought, maybe once I graduate college, maybe I'll still join the military. But then at that point, I met Valerie, and we were making like a life plan. I was like, this just doesn't fit into it.
God had a different plan. Same thing with me. I had an appointment to go down to do all of my enlisting, sign all the paperwork. And my dad's just like, "No, don't do it." And so I didn't do it. My wife, she took the same test as you did. She failed, though. And they didn't accept her.
So did you ever think about joining the military, JJ?
I probably ran through my head a few times, but I never actually took any action on it.
Yeah. So hats off to the people that do that. You got a tough job, horrible pay, but the good news is you can get a VA loan when you get out or while you're in. So
just reach out to JJ, right? How do they do that?
JJ. So just Google Made for More Realty, and we will get you in contact with JJ, or just Google JJ Mack, and you'll see the Mack Attack pop up.
The Mack Attack.
Mack Attack. Thanks, JJ, for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you.